Paul, in support of his statement that husbands ought to love their own wives as their own bodies, brings in an obvious matter. Unless mentally deranged, Paul's words, no one ever hated his own flesh. It is interesting that Paul uses the term flesh rather than body. His mind certainly hearkened back to Genesis 2:23, which we just read, which said, "This is now flesh of my flesh and bone of my bone." I won't read it again. So anyway, that's obviously what he was thinking of. Though the man and wife have separate bodies, they're one flesh. A man doesn't hate his own flesh, and the wife is his very flesh. Therefore, it is contrary to what is moral and biblically sound to hate one's own wife. To further explain, he next says that a man will nourish and cherish his own flesh. The word nourish is found only twice in the Bible, and both are in the book of Ephesians. It gives a sense of rearing up a child to maturity. In essence, it indicates from childhood to adulthood. This is how a man is to treat his wife. He is to care for her as their marriage moves from stage to stage. She is not to be loved while young and in her flower, and then disregarded after her body has become aged and worn. One of the things that it's almost shocking, is when somebody says, "Oh, this is a picture of us when we were married," and now they're 75, 80, 90 years old, and you look and you think, "She was so beautiful," or "He was so handsome," and you look now and they're old. And, the idea is that I was married to this person that was once really beautiful, and in my eyes, this person is still very beautiful. You just go through the years and you accept the changes in each other. And the people that don't know those changes look back and it's like looking at a completely different person. But they have grown with each other, they've matured with each other, and life has just gone by for them. And so I imagine if you went back and looked at a picture of me and Hideko when we were married, you'd say, "Wow, what a difference," But she looks just as pretty to me today as she does as the day that we got married. So there you go with that. Let's see here. Where was I? Oh, yeah. Okay, the word cherish is also rare. It is found here and in 1 Thessalonians 2:7. Cherish is a good translation of it. It originally came from the thought to keep warm. When it is cold out, we will protect ourselves with that which warms us. Maybe we will kindle a fire, make a cup of hot chocolate, and wrap up in something fuzzy. I would do none of those things. I'm just giving you guys ideas if you're cold. Okay, this is what one would also do for his precious wife. He is to tend to her, cherishing her in a manner which will keep her safe, happy, and content. And once again, in order to show the basis for this treatment of our beauties, Paul returns to the antitype, Christ. He says that we are expected to do these things, and then his words, just as the Lord does the church. He again equates Christ's relationship to the church with a man's relationship to his wife. For us to act contrary to this in regards to our wife is to then show contempt of how the Lord has already set the pattern for us in his love of us. Christ has set the pattern. This is what he's done. This is what we are to follow up doing, in other words. So, life application. The Bible shows us clearly and precisely that men are to act properly towards their wives, caring for them and treating them in the same manner that Christ treats his church. When we fail to do this, our actions are certainly unacceptable in the eyes of the Lord.